Okay, here's a tutorial on how to use the tank in hill climb racing on Countryside. This tank has full upgrades. I've spent the money to do that. That should cost about 10 million bucks to do that in all, so it's a lot of money, but good investment if you want to get your best possible time on Countryside. So if you're to this level, you've probably learned that when you're in the middle of the air, as you can see on my screen here, that you can change the pitch of your vehicle by either hitting the gas or the brake. That's really important with the tank. So as I'm launching forward, I want to either rotate forward, I'd hit the brake, or if I want to continue to rotate back, then I just keep holding the gas. Your gunner turret can kind of pop off there too if you don't have the best approach angle. So some vehicles are better on some levels than others, but in my opinion the tank is the best for Countryside. It's got really good grip if you have all the upgrades. It's not very fast, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem if you're okay kind of going it slow. It's got a really good approach and exit angle. And what I mean by that is it's the angle at which your vehicle would normally hit on both the front and back ends. So that way you won't get stuck in crevices and the like. I haven't been stuck in a crevice so far with the tank between two steep hills so far. So once you've mastered that, then it's just a matter of keeping yourself level as you're flying through things. And then pretty soon here we should be approaching the steeper hills. So far this is pretty basic. But you'll notice when I'm at the bottom of a hill like this, you accelerate, hit the brake to rotate forward. That helps you get on top of the plane of any hill. Typically I like to try to land horizontal. That'll help you avoid getting flipped, most likely anyway, because you're not exactly sure what you're going to run across. Now since I have full fuel upgrades, I can skip a lot of the fuel stations here, and it's not that big a deal. Hill climb racing is a cool physics-based game. It's obviously not very true to life. I wouldn't be hopping a tank over this kind of stuff, but it is predictable in the gravity and the traction and different things, so it's a pretty fun game. Can get pretty addictive. So as you'll notice again, it's important to try to stay level as you're launching off of things and when you're landing. So that's why you see me hitting the brake a lot. Now when you're actually on the ground, hitting the brake, the tank has such good traction that it will almost immediately change direction. So if you're going uphill on some of the other vehicles, it can be handy to hit the brake, just to hit the brakes just before you go off a hill to help you rotate. And that can be done with the tank, but you have to be more careful with it because it will really just stop you midway up the hill. Then you'll have to try again if you don't flip over. It's good to get a good run at these hills, rotate forward. Now these tracks are nice because if you can even get that front wheel that's on the ground, if you can even get that at the crest of any hill, then you should be fine. So like this, see that front wheel was the only one that was touching, but it was good enough to get me over. When I hit like this, I usually just back up and retry. Again, hitting the brake when you're in midair so that way it rotates you forward. That way you can get that good grab, that good bite. Combination of the rotation, acceleration, braking, and also using the suspension to your advantage. It's got a little bit of bounce and a little bit of a hop, which is pretty forgiving in comparison to some of the other vehicles like the race car. Race car is probably the most effective vehicle if you're serious about getting really far and you have all the upgrades. Now this right here is probably the most difficult hill. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm right at about 2153. So when you're right to this point, keep your nose in right where I'm at right now, and then watch when I hit the gas and when I hit the brake. So gas, let go, gas, brake to rotate forward, and then gas. You just kind of do that. So let's try it again. Okay, so we're at the base of the hill. So I hold the gas, let go, gas, brake to rotate forward, gas when I'm at the top. And I just kind of tap it. And that should get you over that hill. That's probably the most difficult part of this whole level that I've run into so far. As you can see, my high score is 4152 meters. I'm sure there's other guys out there that are farther, but it's as far as I've gotten so far. And that's really, I didn't make it far enough just because I was going too fast and just flipped on something. So it wasn't like another hill that was impassable. Some levels like Arctic, there's a certain spot that I don't know if anybody else has been able to get past, but I sure haven't been able to get past it. Here's a good example where the monster truck would have gotten stuck, but the tank can get out of those sticky situations without too much trouble. So far I haven't really seen a situation where this tank can't get over. It's just a matter of landing correctly. And it gets more and more dynamic the farther into the level you get. Hopefully this tutorial is somewhat helpful. I think that's where I died last time. So again, just tapping the brake when you're in air to level yourself off, and knowing when to launch. And you'll see I'm still skipping fuels. Oh, and I'm dead. But there you have it. That should at least get you over the main big hill there, and should get you an idea on how to use the tank best when you're driving on countryside. This is Chris, and hope you guys enjoyed the show.